Let's talk about the topic. Let's get it out of the way, because I'd like to get to shout outs and talk with you guys for the rest of the show. All right? So, I'm going to get through this as fast as possible. All right? Last year, Keemstar wanted to do a show called the LOLCOW Cast, which is going to be a podcast with me, Boogie, and Wings. He was going to offer us each $50,000 as a signing bonus to do the show. However, I never even entered a conversation with the man about it because he was unable to contact me at the times that I told him to contact me. He was also not willing to discuss it via DM or email. So it literally never happened. In reality, I'm not interested in working with Keemstar. I don't like the guy. I don't like his work, the work he's put out. I don't like his morality. I don't like anything about him. I don't want to enter a business relationship with him, period. So, after those discussions basically never happened, a lot of drama happened where he was saying a bunch of shit about me and stuff. And it wasn't true, you know. Basically, I just kind of tried to stay away from it. Now, in the meantime, I had some discussions behind the scenes with guys like Boogie and Wings about maybe doing our own thing. Say, hey, what's stopping us from doing this show with each other? Like Boogie and Wings, or excuse me, me and Boogie had a couple conversations where it was like, well, he wanted to interview me. I said, I'd be willing to do an interview with you, and then maybe I could interview you back, and we could have shared content or whatever. Like, that was some of the discussions that we had, okay? But it never really amounted to anything. You know, one of the things I worked on, as you know, this year is DSP Reacts. I was thinking that could be good content for the channel, that you have an interview with him as something to have on that channel or whatever. You know what I mean? So basically, the whole thing's been off the table. And there really hasn't been much discussion about it. And then all of a sudden, during my interview with the side scrollers, Keemstar shows up out of nowhere and interjects himself into the situation. Literally, he had nothing to do with the interview. Like, that interview was supposed to be about me and the shit that my haters say about me. What is Keemstar doing here? Right? Like, literally, like, what is going on? It didn't make any sense at all. Right? It was just confusing. What is he doing here? Come to find out, apparently he's had a bug up his ass about me ever since I didn't want to do this show with him. And we had to talk about it or whatever, right? And at that point, I pretty much made it abundantly clear I want absolutely nothing to do with this man. All right? I pretty much tried to make it as transparent as possible. I don't like you. I don't want anything to do with your content. It's my prerogative if I do work or not with you, period. Okay? That was that. Like, that's the end of it. Now, in the meantime, he continues to show up on my streams. He continues to tweet about me. I want nothing to do with this guy. I'm just ignoring him at this point. I'm done with him. I have no more interaction with Keem. I'm done. All right? In the meantime that all that's happening, okay, I get contacted behind the scenes by a third party saying that they're representing Boogie and Wings and that they're interested in doing this podcast with me, all right? And it would be just the three of us working on it. And essentially it would be like a three-way split where we all do a show and work together and yada, yada, yada. But no details are worked out because in the meantime, Boogie and Wings are doing this fight, this boxing match for Keemstar. It's Keemstar's event and they're taking a payday to do it. I think they're getting like $10,000 each or something like that to do it. And essentially we can't talk details about the show until they get back from their fight. All right? I confirmed with Boogie and Wings, yes, this was legit. They said, yes, this person is legit. This is someone who we're already working with, and we want to do this all together. Okay? And so I said, all right, if you want to start talks about it or whatever, let's talk about it, right? I'd be willing to consider doing this, maybe trying it out, see how it works. You know, no details have been worked out whatsoever. It was just a discussion. I had a few emails back and forth with a guy who said that he was going to kind of be in the middle of this whole thing, and that was it. And where we had left it was, well, you know, we'll talk when they get back from their fight. Okay? Now, the other discussion was that I told him outright, I'm not doing anything with any involvement with Keemstar. So if he's involved, I'm out. And also, we can't use the name of the LOLCOW Cast because if we do, that would actually be grounds for Keemstar to be angry and upset and maybe try to do something because that was his idea. Technically, he's the one who came up with the idea that it was going to be a LOLCOW podcast with people involved and all of that. And you can't just run with it and steal his name and all that. That's messed up. Not even just business-wise and legally, but even just, for me, I wouldn't be ethically okay with doing that. You're going to do your own thing. You got to do your own thing, right? So that was really the only discussions we've had. Nothing concrete. I literally never sat down with Boogie or Wings to talk about it. It was all through a third-party person that I was discussing this. And where we had left it was that, you know, it might happen. We'll see. Let's let their fight happen, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. And that was it. So, all of a sudden, I hear that this week, I guess Boogie did an interview with side scrollers. Which, you know, I don't know anything about it. I'm not following Boogie, nor am I caring about side scrollers at this point. And in the interview, he apparently said a couple things. Number one, he's salty that I cost him $50,000, him and Wings. I did not cost him and Wings $50,000. The idea was made up by Keemstar, literally never spoke with me about it or checked with me to see if I was even willing to do it or interested in doing it, because I've decided I don't want to work with the guy. I didn't cost them money. Keemstar cost them money by coming up with an idea that needed my involvement, and when I decided not to do it, he canceled the idea. I mean, I outright have said, why don't you just do the show with them? Why do I need to be involved? If I don't want to be involved, do the show with them and pay them the money you said you were going to pay them, right? So I don't get it. Why am I the crux of this show? Why did it matter if I was there or not? If I don't want to do it, just still do it with them. And these guys obviously need the help, or else they wouldn't be so upset about the $50K payday they're missing out on. So just pay them, right? Now, you know, that's pretty much my opinion on the whole thing. But, you know, Boogie goes on this interview and is mad that I cost him $50K. And then he says, well, yeah, so we are talking with Darksydephil or whatever about doing a show. So he lets wind of it. He's the one who talks about it publicly, not me. If you didn't notice, I haven't said a word about this. It's been going on for a few weeks. I haven't mentioned it. Why didn't I mention it? Because nothing's happened. There's been no concrete discussions, no contract signed, no even details discussed. It's just, we're going to talk about it after the fight, right? So last night, I'm streaming Oblivion. And people keep bringing up, what Boogie said, what Boogie said, what Boogie said. I said, all right, enough of this. Let me just address what Boogie said. And I literally just said to you what I just said right now. I said last night on my Oblivion stream. All right? Way less people on the Oblivion stream. It's like 200 people there as opposed to the 450 that are here today. Okay? And I'm like, so that's what happened. So all of a sudden people are like, Keem just tweeted about you. He says he's kicking you off the LOLCOW cast, and now they're looking for a third host to join Boogie and Wings. You're kicking me off the show that I'm not on. That's an interesting concept. I've actually never heard that one before. That you can actually get fired when you don't work for someone. Then again, it's happened before. If you remember, I was fired from Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. And I never worked for them, but nevertheless, I was publicly fired. I mean, even news outlets covered it, remember? So maybe this is a running pattern with me now, that I can actually get fired from things I'm not a part of. Anyway, so kind of interesting, because people are now coming to my stream to tell me that you're fired from the LOLCOW cast. I'm not on the LOLCOW cast. I never wanted to be. Like, what are you talking about, right? If you want to talk about delusion and being egotistical, someone who actually thinks that because they wanted me on their show, that I was on it, even though we never even had the discussion about being on it, and I never wanted to be on it, that I was on it and now they can fire me. You're insane. Like, you're literally insane. Anyone will tell you, you're nuts. That's fucking crazy. I was never part of your team. I was never employed by you. You can't kick me off of anything I'm not in. Alright, you're nuts. So, that tweet goes out, alright? So now, of course, my whole stream is derailed last night, because all anyone wants to talk about is the Boogie thing and the Keem thing. So last night, I put out a video after my stream ended, and it was about a 15-minute video, essentially covering what I just covered very, you know, in a nutshell, even more quickly. Today I covered it. And I'm like, so I really don't know what's going on. This is what's happening from my perspective. I'm supposed to be contacted by these guys after their fight to see if they're interested in doing the podcast or not. Again, no specifics have been discussed or anything. It's just an idea, right? There's a third party involved who apparently is going to be the one to wrangle it and arrange it and have all this going. And that's that. You know, so I don't know what Keem's talking about. It seems to be like nuts or something. I don't know. Okay? So, you know, I go to sleep and I get up this morning and I get bombarded with shit. Okay? So, here's what I get bombarded with. Alright? So, many things have happened in the last 12 hours. By the way, just so you know, last night when I made that video, I did try to contact Boogie and Wings and the third party. All of them I tried to reach out to say, hey, what's going on with this? Because I don't know. You know, I've heard nothing yet. We got Boogie going on a podcast saying he's salty about $50K. And you've got Keem making these tweets out of nowhere. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You know, I'm just curious what's going on. All I want to know is what's going on. And here's the thing. I don't care either way, right? Am I interested in doing a podcast with the guys? I think it would be all right and fun to have a conversation, and maybe it would be something fun. At the same time, I don't see why on earth this is a big deal. I'm super busy with my own shit. I'm not desperately looking for a crossover event. You know what I mean? I've already got so much going on DSP Gaming and DSP Reacts. This was just a nice idea to throw out there. You know what I'm saying? So, there you go. You know, so it's not a big deal to me. In fact, I'll be honest with you guys. If these guys are going to make 50K and they desperately need the money, and it means working with Keem and they're okay with working with Keem, then more power to them. In fact, that's what I've already said. Did I not literally just say, why can't they do the show with Keem and not me and still make the money? I didn't understand that. Like, why am I the linchpin, the crux of this show that has to be part of it? Just do the show without me and still give them the money if they need it. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? I would rather have that. I'd rather have the show go on without me than have a show that never happens, and now these guys were hard up for money and they didn't get it, and now they're feeling bad about it and they're angry at me for it. Like, what the hell, man? Like, why am I somehow getting... Again, you understand? Number one, I wasn't involved in a podcast at all. I wasn't involved in the Keemstar podcast. I never was. But I get pulled into the drama, even though I have nothing to do with it. I'm not involved in a podcast with Wings and Boogie. I never was. It's early discussions. Nothing determined. No contract. Nothing. Yet somehow Boogie goes on someone else's show, talks about it. Now I'm pulled into the drama again. Do you see how stupid this shit is? Do you understand why I don't want to be involved with other people? Do you get it? Like, this is why. Every fucking time that this happens, they pull me into their fucking nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. I don't want to be involved with these people. If possible, I would like to make my own content for my own audience and continue to grow and evolve and make curated content for those who like it. I don't need to cross over into the realm of YouTube relevancy and become a known LOLCOW who now has viral popularity and makes money for making fun of himself. I don't care about this at all. Really. I've never actually actively sought it out once. These people come to me with their drama bullshit, and somehow then I have to, like, I'm literally wasting time right now on my own show talking about it because people won't shut the fuck up about it. Alright? So that's why I'm doing this, so I can put it to bed and say I'm done with this shit. Okay? So, last night I did reach out to Wings and Boogie. I did reach out to this neutral third party. It has now been 14 hours and no one's responded. So, being that's the fact, I'm going to just assume that the things that I've heard are real. And what I heard is that basically, after me talking about this on my show last night, Keem had a change of heart and decides he wants to still do the LOLcast, but now he doesn't know what to do because he needs a third host. He doesn't feel that it's strong enough with just Wings and Boogie. So he started posting up and he's asking people on the internet, who do they want to see to be the third host of the show? Okay? Good for them. Good. Let them do a show without me. That's called the LOLCOW cast because I'm not a fucking LOLCOW. Just because idiotic, mouth-drooling idiots on the internet termed that and made up a bunch of bullshit conspiracies and nonsense about me doesn't mean it's true. I don't care about what the fuck they're saying. I'm not going to be a part of your fucking toxic nonsense. I make meaningful content for a group. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Really, I'm not going to be a part of your toxic shit. I refuse. So, have your LOLCOW cast. Have people who want to self-degrade themselves for personal profit be on your show. I know one of them. His name is Rich from ReviewTech USA. Look into him because he sucks cucumbers and kisses cocks all day long. And he basically just continues to do toxic things that hurt other people. You know, like Keemstar for personal gain. So maybe he'd be your prime fucking candidate for the show. I think he would fit right in with what you're trying to do if that's what the show really is about, which it seems like that's what it is. Alright? So go for it. And by the way, leave me out. I want nothing to do with it. Alright? So if this is the case, and if Keem has essentially talked to Boogie and Wings behind the scenes and convinced them, oh, I want to do the show again. I'm going to pay you $50K again. Good. I couldn't be happier. I'm happy for them. Let them get the money they need and do the show they wanted to do that I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in the LOLCOW cast. Our show, if we had done a show together, would have been very different than that. It would have been productive. It would have been positive. It would have been fun. It would have been intelligent. So, good for them. Let them do their shit. I don't care. And I'm done with it now. Because that's like I said, if 14 hours have passed and these guys aren't responding, obviously it means that it's probably true. I guess someone had said that Boogie actually did retweet Wings. That Boogie retweeted Keem when Keem tweeted and said that I'm out of the show. I was never on the show. Can't be out of the show. So, sounds to me, I hate to say it, that Boogie and Wings, sadly, may be in a position where they literally just have to be involved with Keem forever. They're doing this fight. They're going to do a show, you know. I don't want to be roped into the drama and the nonsense. I want nothing to do with it. And this is I'm really now done with this shit, you know. I'm not going to be putting up with it anymore. I'm not going to let people get wrapped up in it, my own viewers and shit. It's so stupid. What on earth does this have to do with the content I'm doing right now? Nothing. I didn't want to be involved with it, ever. It wasn't my idea to be on a podcast with them. Like, I don't care about this. Really, I don't. I'm tired of people fucking coming and derailing my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with it. And the sad fact is, I hate to say it, we all kind of know where it's going. We all know it's not going to work out. You know, people tell me stuff out of the blue. So during this whole time, when all this is going on, someone actually contacted me personally and said, just so you know, it's a really good thing you're not working with Keemstar. Because this guy, historically, people who work with him have a bad time and then end up getting backstabbed after the fact, but no one really talks about it publicly because Keemstar basically is, you know, popular and people don't want to basically rile up everyone. So what I'm to understand, again, I don't know if this is true or not. I guess Keem started a new show called The Keemstar Show, which was supposed to be a daily podcast. You know, his attempt to get out of the drama alert shit, but do other content or whatever. So he started this new show and he had a host. Now, I don't even know the name of the host, but apparently the host had a falling out with Keemstar during the show. Like, they don't want to do the, she doesn't want to do the show anymore because they're not happy. And apparently Keemstar has gone out of his way to just destroy the guy, like completely kill his reputation and be like that this guy sucks. And, you know, I don't know. But, you know, the way I see it is you get involved with a guy like that, you're putting yourself at such great personal risk. And again, with all the stuff that Keem's been wrapped up in over the years, that's the last thing that I want to be involved with. I got enough of my own shit going on. I don't want to be involved in toxic shit. When you hear stuff like this, you're like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm done. You know, I'm enough going on in my life. Trust me, with the shit that just happened to me this week, I couldn't be here on Tuesday and everything. The last thing I fucking need is more of this. I'm done with it, all right? So just understand that. I'm not going to be involved with it anymore, all right? So it's sad because it sounds like maybe the idea of me doing a podcast with Boogie or Wings or something like that would have worked and would have been a fun show. But they chose to go with the realm of money. It sounds like. I mean, they haven't responded to me, so it sounds like they want to go for the payday rather than having self-respect. That's their choice. They could do that. Take the payday over self-respect. Go for it. And enjoy the money. And I hope that the show does well. And I hope that they, you know, whatever. I really do sincerely hope they do have a good business relationship with Keemstar. They don't get screwed over. But I'm not going to put myself into that risk whatsoever. All right? I'm just... It's not worth it. So, as of this moment, this is official. I'm making this official right now on my show. In all of my content. I would never want to speak about Keemstar ever again. I'm serious about that. Never again. If I choose to do it, then that's okay. But I don't want people bringing this nonsense up ever again. I don't care what he tweets. I don't care what he says. I don't give two fucks. The guy doesn't exist anymore. Alright? To me... He's gone back to his fucking hollow tree to make his fucking fudge stripe cookies for the rest of his life. He hammered in the wood. He's stuck in there and his fucking with the rest of his Keebler elves. And I don't want to deal with the guy ever again. All right, I'm done. I'm officially have no desire to speak with it about him or to him. I have no business relationship with him. It's over. The children need their fucking cookies. So let him make his cookies, and I'll be here making my own content on my own little island for my own curated, you know, curated content for my own viewers. And I'm done. Alright? Enough. I don't want people coming to my fucking Oblivion streams or any of my other streams saying, he said this, he said that, he said this. I don't care. I have nothing to do with the man. Period. Alright? Done. Completely done with this person. Now, Boogie and Wings. It's sad what seems like going on. I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. Alright? I don't care either. It wasn't a big deal. This was their idea. They contacted me through a third party to get this going. Not me contacting them. They contacted me to do it. So it was their idea. If they're going a different direction, good for them. I still don't care. I'm still not involved. So I think you're starting to see the point I'm making here. Let's see. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Stop bothering me. And if I see people continue to bring it up, you will be moderated and removed from my content, because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with it. There's no point to bringing this shit up. It literally does not affect me. It has nothing to do with me. I have a full agenda. I have all these games I'm playing this month. We have a special event coming up this month. Are you kidding me? June is going to be ultra packed with content with the new releases coming out. I literally have nothing whatsoever going on. And Naysayer just said something interesting. He says, at least this all came out now, not later after you got the whole thing rolling. Correct. This is kind of best case scenario. It really is. Because what if we had already started actually seriously talking, right? What if we had actually started negotiations and there was, you know, all this going on, and then all of a sudden there was a last minute change because Keem comes in and offers them money or whatever. That would have been different. That would have been awful, right? So you're actually right, Naysayer. The fact that this all happened now is better for everyone involved than me wasting time and then coming out the loser at the end. All right? Please understand that. So there you go. I'm done with all this. I don't want to hear any more about it. I never want to hear about Keem ever again. I'm serious about that. If you ever bring him up, that's it. You're out. And yeah, moving forward, you're not going to hear me address it. All right? I would be shocked if I even hear back from these two. Being honest, I would actually now be shocked if I ever hear back from Boogie or Wings. Because if they did sign a contract with Keem for $50K now, which probably was a rushed thing they did overnight to try to lock them out of doing anything with me, I doubt that they're even going to speak to me ever again. I would be very surprised if I heard back from them on anything. All right? But at this point, again, you know I want nothing to do with these people. So please stop. All right? Just stop with the nonsense. I'm moving on with my own stuff. All right? And I hope you understand. And I hope that, you know, now we can move forward positively and not focus on the bullshit. Right? Does that sound good? I hope so. And by the way, I will say this too, because there's some people here like, what's going to happen to 672? 672 is fine. Yeah, he is or was, I don't even know if he is a moderator for Wings anymore. He doesn't do anything bad in my chat. People are allowed to watch whatever they want and enjoy whatever they want, right? So, you know, oh my God, just because someone had an association with one of these guys, I don't care. I literally just told you I wish them the best. So why would I care if someone like 672 is in the chat or watches my content or anything, right? I don't understand why would people feel like, you know what I'm saying? That's stupid. And again, that's just an attempt to try to drum up even more drama. What you do in your own free time is your choice. You watch me, you watch Wings, you watch Boogie, hell, you watch Keem, you watch whatever you want. Good for you. You have the right to make those decisions as a human. That's the beauty of humanity, is that you're independent and you have choice to do what you want to do with your time. Now, I have the right to criticize what you do with your time, but it's up to you to make choices on what you want to do with it, right? So let someone be the absolute biggest cheerleader of those guys, and I hope that, again, I'll be honest with you. If this is true when they do a show, I hope the show does well. I actually hope that this podcast does really well for them, that they make a ton of money, and that they maybe can get on their feet financially and they don't have to be in dire straits with this kind of stuff for the rest of their life. I sincerely wish them success. I think they deserve it. I think they've been beaten down, they've been mistreated by the internet, and they deserve success. So I hope that they have it. Okay? And that's my final take on the subject. No sour grapes, no drama, no nonsense. Alright? Don't involve me with Keem. Don't mention him. I'm done with that shit. I never wanted to be involved with the guy to begin with. He's the one that started all this shit last year, not me. I don't want to be pulled into this nonsense bullshit anymore. I'm done with it. And if you bring it up, you're out of here, because we have shit to do. I'm way too old for this shit to be dealing with this toxic, insane drama nonsense on the internet. I want no involvement with these stupid drama circles anywhere. All right? Leave me out of them. All right? And that's that. All right? It's done. So now we can move on and we can actually get to a shout-out segment of my podcast. Fair enough? All right. So this is interesting. Someone says the consensus of being a LOLCOW is not determined by you. I don't think anyone actually chooses to be a LOLCOW. I mean, that's obviously a fair statement. But what is the criteria? Just because someone says you're something doesn't make you it. There has to be some kind of a actual objective criteria for it. What is the objective determination of that point? That's what I want to know. Because you look at Wings and Boogie, right? Okay? So what are their commonalities? Well, a lot of people shit on them. Maybe at one point they both had prominence, and now they don't have that prominence anymore, right? They're both overweight. Okay? They're both white, I guess. They don't even make the same kind of content, really, right? Like, Wings does a lot of first-person shooter stuff. He does Dark Souls stuff and stuff like that. I don't think Boogie... I mean, he does some gameplay, you know, but I don't think necessarily that's it. Is it that they're... I don't know. Is it that they're self-deprecating? Like, what are the criteria? Right? Because I'm sorry. Just because people shit on you, that shouldn't be a qualification to be called something negative. Right? Like, if you are someone who has earned that title through consistent problems, failures, shortcomings, issues, drama, right? For me, I seem to be the kind of person, people pull me into their shit. Just take a look at the case in point of what we just talked about on this show. Literally, didn't have anything to do with Keemstar. He pulls me into his shit last year, right? Creates drama. I'm not even involved in it, but he keeps making more fucking drama for me. How is that weighed against me, right? I never asked for involvement or nothing. He pulls me into his toilet of shit, you see? Doesn't make any sense at all, right? It's just dumb. Mega Man NT says, a LOLCOW is defined by their ability to provide... Now it got fucked up. Hold on. A LOLCOW is defined by their ability to provide farmers with humorous content they milk. Sometimes, or someone who ignores trolls entirely or doesn't make content can't be one. Well, obviously, if you don't make content, you have to be a public figure, or else no one would even know who you are, right? And ignoring trolls entirely, I disagree. I completely disagree with you. Because even if every single thing anyone ever said about me was ignored, they still fucking do it anyway. You understand? Like, I feel like one of the reasons why some of the conspiracies against me have never been dismissed, or the reason that people still bring them up, is because I've ignored them, right? I refuse to discuss them at length. I refuse to entertain them and talk about them at length, right? And because of that, what happens? These idiots propagate the false conspiracy as a fact, because they say, well, if Phil won't disprove it, it's true. Well, that's not true at all, right? It's bullshit. Even in a court of law, that wouldn't ever hold. That's, you know, it's innocent until proven guilty within a shadow of a doubt. You know, if there's doubts because you don't have the actual evidence, then it's not true. But that's the problem, is the drama they bring me into, right, is stuff that I don't care about, I'm not involved in, you know. The reason I had to talk about it today is because these idiots are derailing my content. They're coming to my stuff and derailing it. And if I don't tell you my perspective on it, right, then guess what? Now it's all true, right? If I don't tell you the truth about my take, it's all true. So if one of these guys goes out and says, you know, slander stuff about me, if you just ignore, and this is the thing, I've tried everything. I've tried directly addressing it, that doesn't work. I've tried completely ignoring it, that doesn't work. It seems like the best way to handle it is only when it directly is massively affecting you to the point where it's hurting your audience. Like last night, I had people coming to the stream, derailing my Oblivion stream. I had to address it, or people were just going to keep doing that. You understand? So I had to bring it up. So, yeah, I don't want this crap. It's funny because they're like, they milk you for content. Okay, you could literally do that to anyone. Right now, I could go to the Side Scrollers podcast and watch their show and milk them for content. I just choose not to because I'm not a fucking asshole, right? I could literally milk anyone for content, negative content. I can make fun of anyone and say, here's your shortcomings. Here's a part that's funny. Here's a part that we could fuck with people. What? But I don't do it. So how does that make them a LOLCOW? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I think this is a fucked up thing. I really feel that way. That this is a situation where it's like once people categorize you into this, you're fucked, and there's nothing you do that'll ever get you out of it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and what did I do to get into it? Well, 10 years ago, people started making fun of my gameplay, and I reacted poorly. And that's literally it. That's what caused this whole thing, because before This Is How You Don't Play, everyone liked me. There was no problems with any of the content I put out. It was all fine. All the shit that people deem as problematic today was fine before This Is How You Don't Play. But once This Is How You Don't Play came out, now everything that Phil does is bad. So now we must make fun of him for everything, and everything he's done in the past is also bad. You see? It just changed the whole mentality of the internet. So, it is what it is. Let's move forward. I do appreciate people trying to explain, okay? I really don't know how to go forward, because as I've told you guys, I really, really, really don't want anything to do with this at all. I want nothing to do with any of the drama shit, the LOLCOW shit, any of it. I have no involvement in it. I just want to sit here and make my own content for my audience, period. And if we get a few newcomers here or there who jump on and enjoy it, great. But I'm in no aspirations, again, to do anything huge. So I don't know why I keep getting pulled into this nonsense when I don't want to do it. You understand? I never wanted to be on a podcast. That was never my desire to do that. Okay? All right. Another tip. Wow, you guys have been awesome today. Thank you so much to everyone supporting the stream. A $1.33 tip from Hairy Pepperoni Nipples. I think why people call you a LOLCOW is because you ask for money. And in the past, you did ask for money to pay for your taxes. I remember you did a stream for a $2,000 goal. But personally, I don't think you're a LOLCOW. What? Okay. What does that have to do with... Again, I guess... that doesn't seem to fit the criteria. If the criteria is you put out content that can be milked, right? For laughs or the lulz. That could happen to anyone. Like, literally anyone, you could microanalyze the content they put out and milk it for the lulz. Right? I think what it is you find someone who is of a level that they can't defend themselves. Because if you tried to do that to a big streamer, no one would care. But if you find the little streamer, the innocuous streamer, the streamer without a lot of name notoriety, right? That's the person that you can do that then, right? I don't know. And by the way, I'm going to assume what he says is correct because, you know, in the past, many years in the past, I did marathon streams where I was trying to raise funds for particular reasons, and I wouldn't disagree that that happened. I know for a fact there was several times when I had to kind of do like a marathon stream to make ends meet, notably around the time when the bankruptcy was going on, because I had all this debt, I had no recourse, nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, it was all messed up back then. So I'm not going to say it didn't happen. It probably did. I don't distinctly remember the event, but I guarantee you it did if he's bringing it up. What I can tell you is this: I am very, 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 very happy that I don't have to do that anymore. Right? That I'm in a position where I'm not doing these, oh my god, crazy emergency streams where I need help right away. Please support me, you know? At least I'm not in that position. Thank God, okay? I guess that makes sense, yes. So Kevin, first of all, says, you're funny, but I don't think you're a LOLCOW. Ginger Pete says, for me, it was the camera was on the whole time moment. You know what? Maybe that you're correct in that. Maybe that's what it was. But the thing was, people harassed the living shit out of me before then. You know what I'm saying? Like, before that ever happened. And the other thing about that is, if that is the truth, does that mean that LOLCOWs can be completely different? Because if you're saying that was the moment, right? If that was the definitive moment, then you're saying that was one moment. So you're saying one moment in time can make that happen. But is that the equivalent to someone who is constantly making those moments, right? Like, let's talk a little bit real quick, because I got to end the show. Let's take a look at Review Tech USA. This is a guy who outright, and I'm not insulting him here, he outright says, I am a LOLCOW, and I capitalize on it. He said this publicly. He says that if you're categorized as a LOLCOW, you should capitalize on it. So when he takes his shirt off, and when he sucks a cucumber on his stream, which is a regular occurrence for what I'm to understand, that's something he's doing for personal profit and gain, and he's buying into the meme, correct? Now you can argue, well, he's a LOLCOW because he's doing this all the time, right? This is something that he chooses to do for personal gain. Am I right? So, okay, you call him a LOLCOW, it makes sense, right? For me, where is this coming from? Where on today's show did crazy stuff happen? Where in any of my usual content does anything like this ever happen, right? There was one really bad mistake that I made in 2016 because I was in a bad place in my personal life. It was a really fucking stupid thing, obviously. And since then, I've done everything I actively can to improve myself as a person, as a content creator. I've changed the format of the content I make. I've changed the style of content I make. I listen to active feedback. I've improved. I cut out these... Take a look at me playing Elden Ring today, right? And I'm dying and dying and dying. Am I sitting here and freaking out, screaming and raging and, losing my cool? That happens every once in a while. But if you haven't noticed, I've tried to change. I'm not doing that shit. I'm really actively trying to become a better person and a better content creator, So, does that mean because of one bad moment? I honestly would think something that's more LOLCOW-like that I used to do is back in the day when This Is How You Don't Play came out. And in my content, I would rant about how wrong it was that people were stealing my content and how immature and fucked up it was. It was just stupid. I should have just shrugged it off. I think that's more LOLCOW-worthy than anything I'm doing today, the stuff I used to do. But that's what I mean. I don't do that shit anymore. Actively, I've tried not to. I've tried to be better, So, what can you do, right? Anyway, I think it's time for us to end this discussion. One thing I'm annoyed about, you hear my air conditioner, right?